and welcome to the McNeil Voice Studio Patreon podcast after show. Today, I have a special guest. It's Robby Atwood, who is an author, a musician, and the director of 127 House of Prayer. So welcome, Robby.
Hey, thank you. Thank you for having me.
So we're in the last portion of our little interview today, and we've got some silly questions for you. The first question is, what would your superhero power be?
Wow, probably reading minds.
Whoa.
There's always that conversation. You're like, I wish I could read what they were actually thinking right now. I'm not sure I would always want to use it, Maria, but it would be nice to have access to that, and be selective, like put my finger on my temple and like, okay, I'm going to read your mind right now.
So now we know every time you go like this, you're just hoping.
Right. See, what is Maria thinking right
now? Okay. Another silly question. What is the dumbest way you've been injured?
Dumbest way? Oh, wow. Probably I was, my kids had this pool like this. We didn't have the money to buy a really nice pool. So we bought a generic like Walmart pool. And it's one of those you blow up. Well, I blew it up and then the water hose, goes inside of it. So I hooked the water hose up to it, was filling it up. And the water was like spilling out the side. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to fix this tube. Instead of taking it back like any normal person would do, Mr. Robby wants to fix it all, breaks out this razor blade. Okay. Ooh. Yeah. Not the tool of choice, right? My mom would have, said don't do that, but she wasn't around. So I grabbed this razor blade and start trying to fix this, and it slips, and I cut my finger open and have to get stitches. So that was pretty dumb.
Ouch.
Yeah. And there's probably more. And there's probably more, Maria, I'm forgetting. So I've made some dumb choices before, and it's cost me.
So earlier on in the podcast, you mentioned that you played in like a praise and worship band then, right? Or maybe
Yes.
multiple ones. What's like the craziest band name you've ever had?
Craziest band name? Oh, wow. Probably the corniest is Kingdom Voice.
Oh.
Like, it sounds really serious, you know what I'm saying? Like Kingdom Voice, like what is that? Is there like a group of knights going to lead worship for us or what? I don't know what's going on. I was like, in that season, I was like all about the kingdom and like all of that stuff. And I'm like, let's call the band Kingdom Voice. It sounds really cool. And about a year after that band dissolved, my wife and I were having a conversation. She's like, Robby, don't ever select a name like that ever again. And anytime you have an idea for a name, run it by me first.
Yep. That is too funny. Oh, man. Okay, so I guess a little bit more serious here. What have you read or listened to recently that has inspired you?
Oh, wow. Probably there's a book by C. Baxter Kruger, and it's called The Great Dance. And it talks about God being three in one, Father, Son, and Spirit. And he goes into such depth, and he articulates like just theology in such a cool way. And so that's a real recent read. Probably like a month ago, I read that book, and it opened my eyes. So yeah, C. Baxter Kruger, The Great Dance. Yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
What's the most awkward thing that happens to you on a regular basis?
Oh, wow. The most awkward thing? Probably, when you're in a conversation and you can't think of something to say.
That's my life.
So I come from a family, Maria, we like, our get-togethers are loud. Everybody talks. There's conversation. My mom is a talker. There's no dead space in conversations. So I'm trained that way, right? Don't let there be dead space in conversation. So anytime there is, it's so awkward to me. I just want to crawl in a hole and be like, and you hate to say like, I'm done with the conversation and walk away. So what do? You just stand there. and you
Yeah.
stare at the person,
So
hoping they will say something.
that was a good one. That's a good one. Okay. So our last question. What is some good advice that was given to you that has always stayed with you?
Oh wow. Probably don't give up. I would say my dad is that guy. My dad is a go getter. He's old school. Um, you know, I talked about the razor blade incident. My dad, when he was younger, he has a scar from it. He had a tire on a bicycle. I'm sorry, on a motorbike, and they had the knobby tires, and he wanted to fix a knob that was apparently the tire was messed up. So he thought he would cut that knob off the tire with a razor blade.
Ooh.
It slipped, and it was a bad accident. He still has a scar today. So I say that to say this: my dad he doesn't give up. When he wants to do something, he puts his mind to it and he does it. And he's always instilled that into me, and time again, Robby, don't give up. Don't give up. What's in your heart? Don't give up. So that's been very valuable my whole life.
Wow. Okay, folks. Well, don't give up.
Don't give
Really.
up.
It's a really good way
You
to end
can do it.
today.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Robby, for joining me today. And thank you, Patreon viewers. We will be back next month. Bye.
Bye bye.